in this class.
Hey, and for those
Ages of these heifers range from May 4th to June 6, 2025.
For those of you on the internet watching, you have Bill and Bobby Dunn sitting at the table watching the show along with you. In these later spring calves, we've got the first entry from Landon Hall. Landon's from Bolt, West Virginia. It's also bred by Landon. Second entry in this class is a May 17th heifer sired by 2296, bred by Nathan and his brother Nicholas Bernanowicz from Tunneltown, West Virginia. The dark red heifer that came in the ring third is from Keith Ullman, Ralph Ullman and Son in Graysville, Ohio. That heifer sired by Keith's Bull Powerhouse that I saw here at the KILE last year. Really, really good individual. Liked that bull a lot. In the last heifer that came into the ring is from Chris Dermody up in New York State. Chris has a sale coming up too, Bobby. I'm not sure when that is. Do you know?
It is on SC, and it'll be happening on October 6th, so Monday, right after the KILE.
Chris always brings good ones to the KILE, him and Keith both.
And Chris's calf that he's showing right now is sired by Marksman, so very popular sire, AI sire right now in the breed.
Judge Sharenko is pulling him in now. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Well, good morning, and it's a real pleasure to be here. And I think if the rest of the day bodes like this first class, we're going to be in for a really an exceptional Hereford show. Started off this class with a heifer that really logically comes to the top for me. She's really, really expansive in through that center body. You love the look this heifer gives you. She gets out and moves really good. She's really flexible off both ends. Love that levelness of hip in her, and I think a heifer that just really comes together really, really well. Balances up just exceptional. Really nice one right there. Heifer in second, love the shape. Really, really round body, the muscle shape. You can see numerically she's got a little more girth, and you know what? She's indicative of it. She's got the body, the mass, the top, the power. Really love that about her. Not quite as level in through that hip as our class winner. Not quite as extended, but really, really love the power. Get into our third place female here. I think one that really gets out and she moves really well. She's just given up a little bit of that mass and scale and power to a couple of heifers that are above her, but I think one that really completes up, and she just on the move is where she's got advantages to the next heifer coming in. Then we round out the class with a really, really fancy one. I mean, love the look this heifer gives you. She's really fresh. I think one that has a world of future above her. As she progresses in through her stages, maybe just not quite handling those rears quite as good today in this first class, but I think a really, really attractive one.
Congratulations to our exhibitors in Class 160 Spring Heifer Calves. First went to Chestnut 2296 Beverly, exhibited by Nathan and Nicholas Berntovich from West Virginia. Second went to NVU, owned by Ralph Ullman and Son in Graysville, Ohio. Third to Sunbridge Molina, owned by Landon Hall. And to end the class, we had Christian Dermody from Hereford, New York. Reading down your program, 3, 1, 2, and 4. Class 161, Spring Heifer Calves. We should have 3 entries with ages ranging from April 2nd to April 6th.
Okay. So Bill Keith is back with us with another one. This one is sired by Purple Mayhem. And then the second heifer in the class is a heifer from KC Livestock in Albright, West Virginia. She is a final chapter daughter. And then the third heifer coming in the ring is Abigail Smith from Stroudsville. That heifer calf is sired by a bull named Elm Lodge Full Speed.
So for those of you that are with us online, KC Livestock has a sale coming up October 14th on Ag Sale Day, I believe. Is that correct, Bobby?
That is correct. The name of the sale is Generations Chasing Purple, and it is on sale day.
Another interesting fact for you guys watching, the heifer that Keith Allman is showing, the first heifer in the lineup there, sired by a bull that came from Randy Mullinex and Kurt Love and his family over in Ohio. I actually got the opportunity to see that one too. Again, another really, really good individual, but not one that you see available in a lot of the semen catalogs and stuff like that. But he was just a truly rugged, good-looking, athletic bull. Keith's family's been in the Hereford business probably as long as my family, Bobby, probably 75 years or better.
Be coming up on one of those Hereford Awards here soon. For don't they do that?
Yeah, that and 50 cents get you a cup of coffee. The way he's got them lined up, if he doesn't change them, it's going to be the Allman heifer winning the class. KC Livestock's heifer in second, and Abigail Smith rounding it out with her heifer that's sired by the Billy Elmhurst bull.
I think an interesting class here in our second class, and I'm not going to be the first to tell you. There's a lot of variation in this class, and I think you can go a few different ways here. For me, the heifer that wins the class, I think, is the most complete. I like her moderation in her frame. She's built really well. She's got enough roundness and muscle to her, yet she's square enough. Really handles off both ends when you get her on the move. I think a heifer that doesn't overwhelm you in any ways, but she's really, really complete and really balances up. When you get into our second place female, love the center body of this female, love the length of side, love the look that she gives you. She's a little square made than our class winner. I think a heifer for me, she's probably, when I project her down the road, she's going to probably be a little larger frame size than what's really ideal for me. And I'd like to smallen up their teat size just a touch when we project her onto a cow down the road. But really, really love a lot of pieces about this female. Get into our third place calf, I think a sound calf, lots of muscle in this calf, just giving up a little bit of that scale and size and power that our two class winners come out of this class, but a real nice individual for this young lady.
Results of Class 161 spring heifer calves. First was awarded to UHF Mayhem Annabelle, owned by Ralph Ullman and Son from Graysville, Ohio. Second, KCL Addison, exhibitor number 5091, owned by KC Livestock from Albright, West Virginia. And third was JVF Fire Poppy, bred and owned by Abigail Smith from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Into the ring at this time, we have Class 162, spring heifer calves. Calves in this class are ranging in age from March 3rd to March 29th. At the conclusion of this class, we will be selecting your champion and reserve champion spring heifer calf.
Again, Bobby, I think a really, really nice lineup in these March babies. And if you want to look, the first heifer that comes in the ring in this particular class would happen to be a full sister to the heifer that won our first class, won the May heifers earlier in the day, and I think that's kind of interesting. Heifer come from 111 in Texas, and it's the
Bernadowitz family. They
in
looks
West
like maybe
Virginia.
they had bought some eggs or something.
I
Or
don't.
I don't know exactly how that laid out, but they definitely are full sisters. Pretty nice set of heifers.
Kind of makes me wonder, and I don't know if I should be saying this on the internet, but he called out his second place heifer in the first class for carrying a little extra birth weight on the paper. But yet the heifer that he lets win the class does not have EPDs listed in the program. So it kind of makes me wonder.
In that last class, she does.
No, in the first class. The heifer that he beat her with.
You're right. You're right. I did not see that.
I guess, I wouldn't probably have used that in a set of reasons if I didn't have numbers on the one I'm beating her with. Just being kind of critical, I'm sorry, to my Canadian friend out there in the center of the ring.
Yeah, this is definitely a bigger set of heifers, a bigger class. We've
Good
got
class
some
of
new
7.
folks that we haven't seen yet today. The second heifer in the ring, it's not who's showing her, but it looks like she comes from Josh Duty out of Maryland. We have a lot of West Virginia folks here showing at the KILE this year. Jeb Painter has a heifer, and Tom Smith from up in New York. Chris is back with another heifer from us, from New York also, Dermody. Sophia Taylor, and Chase Howard has the last heifer that came in the ring.
This is a good class of heifer calves, Bobby. I mean, top to bottom, athletic, big-centered, look to be, from our vantage point, nice-footed. Just a nice class of heifers. I will tell you, in the last 15 years, I do think, and we're involved in multiple breeds now, even though, we started with the Herefords and we're still really passionate about the Herefords. I think we've made as much improvement in this breed, or more improvement in this breed, than any breed in the last 10 or 15 years. I mean, these cattle are maternal, but they still have some performance. They've got some eye appeal. Certainly got some power in these calves, and I like that about them.
I agree with that. I do think that, there's an awful lot of nice heifers standing in front of us. I think the only breed that maybe, when you say most improvement, I think the Shars are ranking right up there. Those, you see an awful lot of really nice Charolais cattle. But I agree with you, Bill. This is a super set.
If he doesn't change things up too much, I believe he's going to use
Yeah, I'm not sure where he's going here.
the Baranowitz boy. I'm not sure. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. But the 2296 out of the on-time cow that came from Colts, or from Colderman's. And then he's got Tom Smith lined up there second.
Currently, yep.
Looks like he's got
Josh Duty
Josh
is in 30.
Duty's heifer.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
Maybe
see
that
if
looks
he.
like the Painter boy that's going to be fourth.
I did get the opportunity, not this year, but last year, to get to see him sort the Charolais show, and he's pretty quick with his decisions usually, and very thorough. And I think once he makes a decision, usually from that day anyway, when I got to observe him, he stuck with them. So we'll see what he does here.
This is a really, really fun class to sort, and I think it's really deep when we go right through. I mean, this whole class is really, really high quality. This first heifer started to, I mean, I really, really gravitated to this one. She gives you a killer look when she gets in here. Huge in through that center body, really expansive, great hip, really flexible off each ends, and I think one that just really, really balances up really, really well. That's quite a high quality individual there, young man. Getting to our second place heifer, love the round body muscle and mass that this heifer has. Lots of top in her, just not quite as level and as expansive as our class winner. But I mean, you really, really got to love the teat size and placement on this heifer, project into a future cow. Not quite as expansive, but I mean, that's a real stout good one. This third place heifer here, I think really honestly probably follows the most in type and kind to our class winner. Love the look, love the center body she gives you. She's really, really flexible. You just pull her apart a little bit. She's just not quite as stout over top, not quite as wide based, but I think one that really, really projects to be a really nice bred and a cow. And I'll be honest, this fourth place heifer is probably the one that gives me the most trouble in this class. I love a lot of pieces about this female. She's really, really great in through her neck, really great in through her chest floor. I think one that just really needs a little bit more time. And I think with some time, she'll volume up a little bit more, get a little more expansive in through her middle. She's not quite as dead level hooks to pins as a couple of our heifers that placed above her, but I think one that has some really, really unique pieces that could come back here as a bred and be really, really elite. Get into our next two heifers, I think two that really follow a lot in type and kind, give you a really great look. They're really long-sided, expansive in through their center bodies. I just like to stouten these two up just a little bit, give them a little more width to base, a little bit more top and muscle shape to them. But I think two heifers that are really, really great looking. They're well built. They're really expansive in through their center bodies. Then we get into a female that really kind of combines a lot of the heifers above her, just not quite as level in through that hip. She'll get a little under herself on the move on them rears, but I think a really, really high quality class.
Results of Class 162 Spring Heifer Calves. First was awarded to Chestnut 2296 Marbles, owned by Nathan and Nicholas Bernatovich from Tunnelton, West Virginia. Second went to American Woman, owned by Thomas Patrick Smith of Seneca Falls, New York. Third to Chestnut. Third to FDE Candy Crush, owned by Josh Duty from Rocky Ridge, Maryland. Fourth to Exhibitor 3349, owned by Chase Harward from Forest Hill. Fifth, Exhibitor 3185, Christian Dermondy from Pifford, New York. Sixth, Jesse's Girl, owned by Jeb Painter from Gandonville, West Virginia. And seventh, TVF Queenie, owned by Sophia Taylor in Parkton, Maryland. We are now ready to select our champion and reserve champion spring heifer calf. We are looking for Exhibitor 3870 from Class 160 with Chestnut Beverly. First from your spring heifer calf Class 161 is Mayhem Annabelle, Exhibitor 5047. And from Class 162 is Chestnut Marbles, Exhibitor number 3836.
Bill, while we're kind of waiting on him to make this champion in this division, I would like to give a shout out to Bovatech. They are one of our bigger sponsors this year.
I think a really nice division here when we get into this first early heifer calf division. I think we get a lot of type and kind. I think we got a lot of females out here that give you a great look. They're really, really voluminous. They're really athletic females that are really sound off both ends, and I think that's something we're going to strive all day. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a young man here as our calf champion, and then this front heifer is going to be my reserve. And I know both heifers don't have any numerical numbers in the book, so I hope I don't get fired because of that. But I would encourage you as producers, as breeders, and seed stock down the road, send in the genomics, get the numbers. It is, you know, past the showing part of it, it's going to help you market your cattle. So we're going to stick with it, and that's going to be our calf champion, and that's going to be our reserve.
Okay, so he used both those full sister heifers that we talked about earlier that you had mentioned about those numbers, and do appreciate him kind of talking a little bit about that.
I think he's listening to us.
No, no, I don't think. So back to Bovatech, want to give a huge shout out to them. Ben Archer, who is a local boy here from the state of Pennsylvania, the southwest portion of the state, is currently just completed an internship with them and has a contract with
Results
them
of your champion and reserve champion spring heifer calf division is as follows. Congratulations to class 161 winner Chestnut 2296 marbles exhibited by Nathan and Nicholas Bertanovich from Tunnelton, West Virginia. And from class 160, Chestnut Beverly, also exhibited by Nathan and Nicholas from Tunnelton, West Virginia. We are now ready for class 165, junior heifer calves. We have 6 entries in this class. We do have 2 write-ins, which would be entry 190 and 4293. Again, class 165 junior heifer calves are in the ring. We have birth dates ranging from February 16th to February 27th in this class.
So if you are here at the KILE and listening to us, if you want to go see Ben at the Bovatech booth and he is strolling around the barns, if you want to learn a little bit more about what they have to offer in your reproduction services, reach out to him, because thanks to Bovatech, they were a big help in making this live feed happen for you.
We'd like to take this moment to announce our royalty in the show ring. Your 2025 National Hereford Queen, and she is always in white, is Natalie Belcher. We also have Carly Mills, your Georgia Hereford sweetheart, and she's wearing a red shirt with a blue skirt. We have Dorothy DeFord, is a Maryland Junior Hereford Princess, and Lily Barnett is also a Maryland Junior Hereford Princess. Put your hands together and thank them for being here with us today.
So boy, Bill, a big class of February heifers we've got in the ring. And we had a couple add-ons, which I don't know that the people out there can see that any better than we can.
Let me see if I can find the numbers, and maybe if I know who it is, I'll tell you guys out there on the internet what I see. But I will tell you, this is a good class, Bobby. I mean, there's some nice heifers out there. Krister Modi was the first one in the ring, and that one's out of a cow that he bought from Kevin and Sheila Jensen. Just a long-bodied, good-shouldered, nice hipped heifer. I like that thing quite a little bit. The next heifer in the ring is from Durham Valley, right here in Pennsylvania, and that's a 628 daughter. 628, for those of you who don't know, is a bull that initially was introduced kind of as Cabanese, but I'll tell you what, he's making good cows. We've got a handful of daughters at home, and they're really, really highly productive individuals that have beautiful udders, nice cows, and that's actually a pretty nice heifer too, Bobby. Let's see, who is 1192?
1192, I think, is one of your. Nope, it's not. In the book, they have.
That's an American Classic.
So 1492, yes, that is an American Classic. Yes.
So it was bred by Alexis Winkler down in Maryland, and it's being shown by Ella Campanari from Woodbine. Again, another really big-bodied, big-boned individual.
I don't know if they're, I assume they came in right. I can't always see the numbers. I don't know if you can, Bill. The fourth heifer that was supposed to enter the ring comes from Hannah Imgrind.
But that is not, unless they've swapped numbers.
Swapped them around, yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what's going on. But a big glass.
I'm not sure. As I was walking through the barn this morning, I noticed there was a farm set up from Georgia. I don't know if they are related to our queen that is down assisting, our state queen from Georgia that's down assisting the national queen. but great to have somebody from so far away come here to Pennsylvania for the KILE.
And I don't know, historically, the Hereford show has been one of the bigger breed shows at the KILE. Is it this year one of the bigger ones?
It is. We are holding very strong in the Hereford show number-wise for the KILE, so we're tickled. I know, as the beef committee and the KILE committee as a whole is tickled to have the Hereford breed really holding strong on its numbers. And if you go down in the list a little bit, I don't mean to overlook some of the other. We have some West Virginia and a couple more Maryland folks through this list. And I know this is the second year. The Day family from Tennessee came up again this year.
Jason Day from
down
in Tennessee.
His son Rhett is out there somewhere in this lineup, I'm pretty sure. He's listed, so I'm sure he's here. I do know that I saw their farm sign, so I'm
Really, really nice family. I got the first time I met them, Bobby. I was in Gray, Tennessee, judging a cow show, and I met the Day family afterwards. But what a nice family, and high quality cattle. And I think they have a sale this year too. I'm not sure when it is.
I don't know if any of them happen to be listening, or if you are at home listening and your family of theirs, let them know if they want to come up and visit with us. We'd love to have visitors up here in the booth. If you want to come up and tell us what's going on with your program that we can share with the folks at home, we would love to do that. I tried to walk through the barn as much as possible and check in with some folks and get some information to share with them on sales that they were having as they come in the ring. And as we get into these bigger breds, there are some more sales on my list that we'll tell you about when those folks come into the ring.
So I think Judge Shrenko has them lined up. He's going to take one more look at them, I think, and then maybe he's going to tell us what he saw and why he's got them where he's got them. I do think, Bobby, the quality's been tremendous. You get 4 or 5 deep in some of these bigger classes, and they're awful nice heifers.
Yeah, I don't envy him today in his job. I would think that there's, especially this class, he's got his hands full out there. It makes me excited to get into these big bred heifers and see what we've got today.
Really a large class in both quality and numbers here, and I think we've got a little bit of variation, but I think some heifers that I can really gravitate to, and there's a lot of really good pieces with a lot of the heifers that you get in this class. This class winner, I think, for me, she's just really overwhelming. She's really stout, she's wide base, she's big bone, she's got a lot of top in her and a lot of hip, but she really puts it together in a pretty nice package. She's expansive in through her center body, gives you a great look. I mean, there's some heifers with a longer look as far as what she's got, but she's really adequate there. She's good at the ground and really love the balance of muscle, cow power, ability down the road, and just the over mass that this heifer's got. Get into our second place heifer coming around here. Love the length of side of this female. Love the depth of flank, the center body she's got. She's really good into her hip. I think a female that's just not quite as stout, not quite as big bodied as our class winner, but one that you really love as a cow. Love the look, love that depth of body, love the length, and I think one that really handles that place pretty logically. Then we get to the third place female. I think she really follows our second a lot in type and kind. Gives you a killer look. She's really good at the ground. big in her center body, just not quite as stout and massive and as full in her heart as a couple of the heifers above her, but I think one that really follows in as far as type and kind with our couple class winners in this class. Really love the look of this third place female. Big topped, lots of length aside. I think one that does a lot of things right. Maybe just doesn't quite handle her rears quite as flexible at the ground as a few of the females above her. And I just dropped this heifer down a little bit in her center body, give her a little bit more center mass, but she's got all the pieces to get up as she progresses, and in time, I think this one will get really, really good. Again, the next female coming in, really a flexible one. You love the way this heifer gets out and moves. She'll just tend to pop that tail head a little bit on the move, and you'd stouten her up a little bit more at her base to get above the females today, but one that you love the depth of body, you just tone that tail head down just a touch. Next female gives you a great look, really good at the ground. You level her out a little bit, her hooks to pin. She'll tend to just drop them pins a touch when she gets on the move, and you can see it when she first gets set up. She's one you got to pop that loin just a touch, but I think one that gives you a great look. She's got a lot of mass in her. She's probably a little stouter than a couple of heifers above her, but I think a heifer that really falls in here really nice. Love the body, love the mass. Just level her up just a touch. This is a female that you love from the side. You love the look. Huge center body. She's really, really level. You just got to stouten her up and widen up that base a little bit higher today. Get to the next female. I think one that's really long-sided. She's pretty attractive. She'll just tend to come apart a little bit on the move and on the stand. She'll drop them pins. She'll pop that top a little bit and come in a touch at her heart girth. But I think one that from a length aside standpoint and a performance standpoint, one that really gets here really well. Next female, you love the top, love the hip, love the power. I just drop her down a little bit, soften her up a touch in her center body to get above the other couple heifers today, and she'll get a touch straight off both ends when she gets on the move. You just give her a little better angles to give her a little bit more flexibility, but you love that top, you love the hip, and the look that she'll give you. Get into the next few heifers that we need to get in here. This next one coming around, I think a heifer that's really good in her center body, but you'll notice her on the move, she'll tend to pop that tail head and drop in through that loin on her. I just toned that down a touch, get a little bit higher today, but you love the center body that this female gives you, and she gives you a pretty nice look. This next female, pretty flexible when you get her on the ground. She gets just a little bit coarser in her makeup, a little coarser in through that chest floor, and she'll pop that chest out a little bit more than the heifers above her. She'll get her hind wheels under her just a touch, but I mean one that's flexible. Get into the next heifer, and young lady, you've got a good heifer. Time is going to be a real friend to this heifer. She's just a little bit greener and lacking the performance of the other heifers today, but she's really good looking, she's really flexible, and I think time and maturity is going to be on your side with this heifer. I think down the road, this one's going to be really nice.
We'd like to congratulate our exhibitors in Class 165 Junior Heifer Calves. First was awarded to Wink SFF Carly Sue, owned by Ella Campaneri of Woodbine, Maryland.
You right.
Second went to GSF All About Ruby, owned by Lucy Flynn from Tawnytown, Maryland. Third, Coco's Camilla, owned by Christian M. Dermundy of Pifford, New York. Fourth, Exhibitor 4293, Grimmel Girls from Jarrettsville, Maryland. Fifth, Rhett Day 5190 from Telford, Tennessee. Sixth, Val, owned by Mackenzie Healer from Watsontown, Pennsylvania with 2990. Seventh, Dapple's Diamond, owned by Durham Valley Farms in Wrigleyville, Pennsylvania. Eighth was awarded to Day Sapphire ADA, owned by Rhett Day of Telford, Tennessee. Ninth, Twin Pines Snowflake, owned by Harley Adu of Houghton, New York. 10th, NASCAR Lady, owned by Jeb Painter in Gandyville, West Virginia. 11th, Ferrari, owned by Chloe Ann Patrick of Darlington, Maryland. And finishing our class was TVF Thea, owned by Carly and Sophia Taylor of Parkton, Maryland. Into the ring at this time, we have Class 166 Junior Heifer Calves. This class Your heifers range in age from January 1st to January 31st. At the conclusion of this class, we will be selecting our junior heifer class champion and reserve.
Bobby, we dive into a really, really deep, I think, January class. Again, I think high performance maternal, if you can put those two together. But I think that's what we got out here. We got, man, there's some growthy ones out there. If you're watching, first heifer into the ring is from Durham Valley Farms here in PA. The second heifer, the young man in the cowboy hat, that's Colton Sugg, Warren Bippert's grandson from up in New York with a Ruger daughter. The third heifer is from the Billing family over in New Jersey, Grass Pond. They're doing a really nice job the last couple of years. I think the cattle have really gotten better out of that program. And you can see it looking at that heifer. That's actually a heifer sired by the bull that the Billing family showed here last year that was reserve champion bull.
Yes.
Was bred out in South Dakota by the Effling family, and the Billings bought into him and presented him at a really high level last year to, I think he was reserve junior champion and then reserve champion overall. Nice individual. Then we got a heifer from Robert Church up in New York. Robert does a really nice job. That's a premier heifer. That's actually a bull that we've used at home quite a bit. We don't have any calves yet, but we've actually we've got calves in, eggs in, sired by that bull. We're really excited by. The next heifer behind Robert came from Carter Ward, son of Jack from our association here. That's a high roller out of a cow that came from Trent Ray. That's a pretty nice heifer, Bobby. Let's see, I can't see the next heifer.
That should be.
Oh, that's the KC Livestock heifer.
It is. So the McKaylee with the Pepin heifer is she absent? Nope, that's her. She's there making a circle right now. Just in front of the KC Livestock heifer.
Okay.
Is a heifer raised, bred by the Pepin family, being shown by a young lady from Rhode Island, and then you have the KC Livestock heifer.
Okay, so I got a post in front of me, guys. If you're watching at home, I don't see the whole ring. And then behind
the KC Livestock heifer is Todd Herman with a heifer coming from Piper Cease.
From Piper Cease. That's a Prophet daughter out of Kishona cow. And then behind that should be Chris Dermody, it looks like, again. And then Tom Smith after that.
And Chris's heifer is sired by Red River, which I think.
Red River out of the Jensen bred cow.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a neat pedigree for me. And actually the Arlo heifer, it's an Arlo out of a Harley cow that Tom's showing. So that's a pretty nice, interesting pedigree if you're a show person. I'll tell you what, Judge Sherienko is hammering through these big classes with an amazing level of efficiency. There's no wasted steps. He knows what he likes, and he lines them up that way and talks them quick and doesn't get overly flowery. And I like that. You know, Bobby, you talked a little bit about Bovatech is one of the KILE sponsors and one of the companies that's making this simulcast happen. I also think Jackie and Jamie Campbell.
They did. They
I think
helped
another
out.
really interesting class here, and started off with a pair of heifers that I think are pretty interchangeable here. And for me, the advantages on this first place heifer come in, and I like that tail head set and the way that tail head pops into that hip a little stronger on our first place female than our second. Both heifers are really, really expansive in through that center body. I think we've got a little bit some advantages on our first place female as far as width to base and overall power, but I think two heifers that really follow a lot as far as type and kind. They're both good looking. They're both females that are good at the ground, and I think two really high quality individuals. We break type a little bit into our third place female. Love the center body in this female, the length, the side. She gives you a great look. She's a female that's pretty good at the ground when she gets out on the move. Not quite as much width the base as our top two females, but I think one that really has the pieces to be really, really good down the road. This heifer here, she'll toe out just a touch on them fronts compared to our top two females for an advantage. But love the center body, love the dead level hip in her, and I think one that could be pretty elite as she progresses and matures down the road. Get into our big-bodied heifer that's got a lot of stoutness and power, and I think a lot of muscle mass on this female. I think she really falls a lot in type and kind to our first place heifer that we won the class with. She's just not quite as level in that hip when she gets out on the move and you set her in motion. She'll come apart just a little bit, but she's sound, she's stout, and I think one that's a really good, robust type of a female. Get into a real deep-sided heifer coming in next. She's really long-sided as well. She'll get just a titch straight off both ends, a touch for me, and I'd widen out her base just a bit, but love the length of side and love the middle in this female. Then we get into the real power heifer in the class. I mean, when you're a cow person and you love performance and power and sell bulls, this is the kind of female that'll do it. She's big top, real robust in her body mass and power. She'll get just a touch coarser through that shoulder. She'll pop that tail head on the move, but I think one that from a power and performance standpoint, she really does that in spades. Then we get into the next 3-4 heifers. They give you really good looks. I mean, every female in this class is good looking. This female here, I just stouten out her a bit and widen up her base just a touch to get a little bit higher today. Likewise, with our next female here, I'd drop her down in through her center body, give her a little bit more body mass and volume to compete today, but she's really long-sided and gives you a good look. And then the next two heifers, you just up the performance level on them a little bit to go a little bit higher today. But this was a really, really strong class and really deep right from one end to the other.
Congratulations to all our exhibitors in Class 166 Junior Heifer Calves. First was awarded to SSF KKH 25W Kelsia, owned by Piper Cease of Thurmont. Second, to Lana, owned by Grass Pond Farms in Grindell, New Jersey. Third, to Coco's Amina, owned by Christian Dermondy of Pifford, New York. Fourth, to Shelby, owned by Thomas Patrick Smith of Seneca Falls, New York. Fifth, to exhibitor 4665, KC Livestock. Sixth, exhibitor 2595, McKaylee Forrest of Forester, Rhode Island. Seventh was awarded to exhibitor 3274, Colton Sugg of Alden, New York. Eighth was exhibitor 3234, owned by Ella Fritz of Westminster, Maryland. Ninth, to Lady Premier by Robert P. Church of Hoosick Falls, New York. And 10th, to exhibitor 4175, Durham Valley Farms, Regalsville, Pennsylvania. At this time, we are going to select your champion and reserve champion junior heifer calf. From Division 165, we are bringing back exhibitor 1492, Wink Carly, from first. And your second place in that class with GSF All About Ruby. From class 166, we have SSF KKH Kelsia. And second in that class was GP Lana, Exhibitor number 5785.
I think another really nice division here that followed that last younger heifer calf division, and I think there's two heifers to me that I really gravitate to as far as their type and kind. Numerically, when we look at these heifers, there's really not a lot of difference that separates them when we look at them from a data standpoint, but from a structure and phenotype standpoint, I think there's two that I really gravitate to that are really, really similar in type and kind. They're stout-made females, they're good at the ground, they're flexible, they're good in their center body, and they're females that give you a nice look. With that, I'm going to use the heifer that won the older class as our calf champion, the one that won the younger class as our reserve. I think two heifers that really follow in type and kind. Congratulations.
Your champion junior heifer calf came from Division 166 and was SSF KKH 25 Calissa, owned by Piper Cease from Thurmont, Maryland. Your reserve junior heifer calf came from class 165, was Winks SFF Carly Sue, owned by Ella Campaneri from Woodbine, Maryland. We are now into our class of senior heifer calves. We have class 169 in the ring. Heifers in this class range in age from November 4th to December 16th, 2024. Looks like we have 4 heifers in this division.
Bobby, we've got some royally bred individuals out here with some cow power behind them. First heifer in the ring comes from the Pepin family up in Connecticut. The next heifer is bred by KILE Lemon. It's being shown by little Hudson Fleener. Hudson does a heck of a job, and that one's out of the Tula Rose cows, and consistently make good ones out of that individual. The Rhett Day heifer, the third heifer in the lineup, out of the Brecken cow. I mean, that thing has made numerous good ones. And then you look in the back of your lineup, and we have my friend Harrison Roberts back there with the daughter of Poker Face. And a lot of you Hereford enthusiasts will remember Poker Face from back in the day, a heifer that Rhett Louderman did a heck of a lot of damage with. I mean, she ran neck and neck with another Louderman bred female named Lemon Lime that lives here in Pennsylvania with the Howe family at Dina Jack Farms. So we've got cow power behind these things too, and I think that's really cool that former show heifers have gone on to make ones of this quality. Just a really nice lineup in this class of falls, Novembers, Octobers, and Novembers, I believe. Novembers and Decembers, I'm sorry.
Not a lot of numbers in this class, but it is really, really high quality. I mean, this is a stout class, all 4 of these heifers. This heifer we started off the class with, to me, she just screams cow. I mean, I love the flexibility, the movement this female gives you. She's extremely good looking, great in that chest floor, really long-sided, and I think one that just really, really can gravitate too. She does get just a touch soft in her loin when you put her in motion, but it's really not an issue, and I think one that's really, really good and just really screams cow. Get into the second place female, and I mean, I think this one really is a nice show heifer, and I think she'll be a great cow down the road as well. She's really expansive in through her body mass. She's a wide base female. She's got lots of top to her. I think one that really gives you lots of power, not quite as long-sided, not quite as expansive as our class winner, but I think one that really, really balances up really nice. She'll get just a touch high out of her blade, but a heifer that I think really comes together really well. Get into a third place female, love the length of side, love the width of base and power to her. She'll get underneath herself just a titch on them rears when you put her in motion and not quite as expansive as our top 2 females. She'll get a touch coarser down in through that point of her shoulder. And I'm not trying to beat up on a good one. This is a really, really good heifer because this was a really, really stout class. Our next female, love the length of side, love the look she gives. She'll come apart just a touch on the move where she'll pop that loin and get underneath herself just a touch, but when you get her on the stand and you loin her just a touch, she's really good looking and really expansive in through her body, just comes apart just a touch when you set her in motion.
Results of Class 169 Senior Heifer Calves is as follows. Congratulations to exhibitor 4586 KILE Man Rouge, owned by Hudson Fliedner from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Second was awarded to Pepin 561C Mary, owned by McKaylee Forrest from Foster, Rhode Island. Third went to Day Breakin, owned by Rhett Day from Telford, Tennessee. And your fourth went to exhibitor 2781, Beaufat Hill Royal, owned by Harrison Roberts from Williamsburg, Massachusetts. In the ring at this time, we are bringing a class of 2. This is Class 170 Senior Heifer Calves. Ages range from October 3rd to October 14th. Again, Class of 2 in the ring, Class 170 Senior Heifer Calves.
Started off this class with a really, really high performance individual as far as from a bone standpoint and a power standpoint. She's big top, big hipped, huge bone in this female, yet she's really blends in really nice from that heart girth in through that shoulder, in through that neck. She comes out really high, and I think a female that's really square and really stout. I think one that you really can gravitate to from balancing up that power and performance and mass with a really great look. Then we get to the next female. She's really expansive in through that center body. You love that body depth and mass and that depth through her heart. Just not quite as stout and level in her hip and down in through that leg as our top female, but another really high quality individual that love the body mass that this female has.
Results of our senior heifer calves from Class 170 is as follows. Congratulations to exhibitor number 5679, Insafale LCC Sally, owned by Lane and Logan Cady of New Windsor, Maryland. Second was awarded to DJF Waverly, owned by Megan and Travis Mallory of Madison, Virginia. At this time, we have Class 171 senior heifer calves are entering the ring. We have 6 entries in this class with ages ranging from August 11th, 2024 to September 25th, 2024. Again, Class 171 senior heifer calves are headed into the ring. At the conclusion of this class, we will be selecting your senior heifer calf champion and reserve.
Okay, Bill, you and I are back, and we had a nice group of 2 in that October class, but boy, here comes a whole group of August and Septembers. I love fall calves. You know that though, don't you?
Yeah, my wife loves falls. As the judge is walking back through here, I'll tell you who's out here. Harrison Roberts with a Liberty out of a cow that he raised.
I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our judge today, Dennis Suriken. I'm very sorry. Dennis, along with his wife Lissa and their daughters Katie and Cassidy, operate a cattle company raising purebred Charolais cattle in Maymont, Saskatchewan. The operation is proud to have successfully bred and exhibited many Canadian champions, including the Canadian Western Agribition and Farm Fair International Supreme Champions, including Canadian Western Agribition and Farm Fair International Supreme Champions. The family is honored to have had bred cattle excel on an international scale with success in the United States at major shows. Cattle have been declared champions at Denver National Western Stock Show, Oklahoma's Cattlemen's Congress, Kansas City's American Royal, the Houston Stock Show, the Fort Worth Stock Show, and Louisville's North American International. His champions have been recognized in Mexico and Australia. Dennis has evaluated cattle at many major shows in North America, including Canadian Western, the Denver National Western Stock Show, Kansas City American Royal, the Toronto Royal, and the Edmonton Farm Fair. He has judged internationally at the Expo in Mexico and at the 100th Anniversary Angus Show in South Africa. In 2021, Dennis had the honor of evaluating the 2 largest breeds at the Canadian Western Agribution's 50th anniversary, as he was selected to judge both the Black Angus and Hereford shows at this historic event. Dennis is the SEM-X Beef Sire Acquisitions Manager, where he evaluates sires of all breeds in various geographic regions as to both phenotype and genotype for the SEM-X Global Beef Program. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Judge Dennis here to the Keystone Show for us this afternoon and judging the Hereford Division.
I think really an interesting class when we got into this division and started off with a heifer that I really gravitated in this class. I think she balances up as well as any in the class. I love the center body, love the length. When you set this female in motion, she's really flexible off both ends. She's really good at the ground, square and true, great in her hip, and gives you a great look. I mean, this one's really elite in my mind. Then we jump around a little bit as far as type and kind. Our second place female, you know, she's not quite as much power, not quite as much bone, but when you look at her numerically, she's really Cavanese in this class, and you can really tell that. She's a little lighter boned, but I mean, her center body, the way she's built in through her heart girth, she gives you a nice look, that teat size and placement. This one just screams cow to me, and I think this one's going to be a beautiful female when you set her into production. Then we get into the female that I think is the biggest bone, stoutest heifer in the class, and I really like that about her. I mean, she's bold and robust there. She gives you a nice look. She maybe isn't quite as dead level and off her rear. She'll hawk in just a touch, but I think this one's really unique as far as from a power and bone and width, the base standpoint. I think she really excels. Then we get into the female. It's really long-sided. She'll tend to just drop that loin a little bit when she gets on the move, and I just drop her center body and just give her a little bit more body shape and robustness through that middle center portion of her body to get it up a little bit higher today, but really long-sided, and I think a female that follows in well. Then we get a real power heifer. I mean, the bone this heifer has is really impressive. She's got a ton of power, a ton of top to her. She'll just get just a touch coarse in her makeup down in through her chest floor. She'll come in at her heart a little bit and run downhill just a touch. But from a bone and with the base standpoint, she's really unique and going to be springing a nice udder there on this female. Then we get into a heifer that's a touch finer bone, not quite as stout, as much width the base as the heifers above her, but she gives you a nice look, and I think she'll be like a nice cow down the road when she gets started into production.
Congratulations to our exhibitors in Class 171 of senior heifer calves. First went to exhibitor number 1769 with Huffman Karma, owned by Collier Schaefer of Hagerstown, Indiana. Second went to 2801 Beaufort Hill Sweet Caroline, owned by the Harrison Roberts in Williamsburg, Massachusetts. Third to exhibitor 5421 Piper Cease of Thurmont, Maryland. Fourth, 2514, owned by Megan and Travis Mallory of Madison, Virginia. Fifth was awarded to exhibit 3828, owned by Rebecca Van Camp of Marion, New York. And sixth to exhibitor 4723, Kenzie and Cora Hawkins of Jane Lew, West Virginia. Into the ring at this time, we are going to select your champion and reserve champion senior heifer calf. We are looking for the following exhibitors into the ring. From Class 169 is exhibitor 4586 KLL LeMan Rug. This heifer was born December 5th, 2024. Standing second to her is exhibit 2598 Pippin 56 1C Mary, owned by McKaylee, 4th. Into Class 170, Exhibitor 5679 is exhibiting a heifer born 10/14/2024. Second in that class was exhibitor 2513 with a birth date of October 3rd. And from our last class, 171, is exhibitor 1769, an August 23rd, 2024 heifer. Standing second to that heifer is exhibitor 2801, both at Hill, Sweet Caroline, birth date of 9/21/2024.
Really an interesting division here, I feel, and I think for myself, there's two heifers that really match up to put a couple calf champions together in this class, and I think we've got a real outlier heifer that's standing in the front lineup that's a little bit different as far as type and kind, that's a little bigger boned and bolder and real powerful, and I really like that about her. But I think we've got a couple heifers that just for me, for type and kind, they're really, really hard heifers to split up, and I think they're heifers that are really give you a great look. They're really expansive in through that center body, extremely sound when you put them in the move. They're really flexible. They're good at the ground. I think females that kind of scream show heifer and cow, and we're going to use this oldest heifer in the oldest class as our division winner here, and then we're going to follow up with the other one that's type and kind as far as reserve.
So Bill, I think she's going to announce that, but Schaefer, Collier Schaefer, won that division with his Hoffman heifer, and then Hudson Fleener was reserve in that division with his heifer from KILE Lemon.
Nice division of falls, actually. Really
Yes,
nice.
yeah.
I mean, we sent 6 heifers back to the barn that would have been in contention. Really deep division of falls.
Yeah, matter of fact, while we were he was rolling through some of those smaller classes a little quicker and we didn't chime in there quite as much, Reagan came up to visit a little bit, our daughter, and said, holy cow, the heat is on today at the Hereford show. She said that she's down on the floor, watching some of it, and she said the heifers look amazing from that angle too.
So at one point earlier, we started talking a little bit. You mentioned how Bovatech had helped make this live feed possible, but there was a couple other folks that jumped in and helped support
There
it.
was. Campbell Land and Livestock from here in Pennsylvania stepped up and gave us a sponsorship to help put this together, as well as Schaefer Show Cattle.
I'd like to announce the results of our senior heifer calf division. Your senior heifer calf champion was awarded to exhibitor 1769 from class 170. Was Huffman's Karma, exhibited by Collier Schaefer from Hagerstown, Indiana. Reserve from that division is exhibitor 4586 KLL LeMan Rogue, exhibited by Hudson Fleener from Gettysburg, Indiana. In the ring at this time, we have class 174 late summer yearling females. We have 5 heifers in this class. Ages are ranging from June 2nd, 2024 to July 12th, 2024. We have 5 heifers in this division, late summer yearling females.
So we have 5 heifers in this class. We'll actually have a second class in this division that'll have a group of mays as well, Bill. So we'll have another class of 5 before we go into a division champion here. Going down through these, we have Grace Smith, Collier Schaefer has a heifer out there, Chloe Ann Patrick, Rebecca Van Camp, and the last heifer that came in the ring is Riley Stockdale. And Riley is a fourth generation Hereford breeder.
At least third, maybe, yeah, at least third. Riley's grandpa Gene was a heck of a cow man. Her great grandpa Gene, and her grandpa Denny, as good a cow man as Pennsylvania's seen. Denny did a lot of winning.
I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize two more people who are in our ring today, and that's KILE Minhart and Jordan Mitchum are on our junior Hereford board. You will see them in and out of the ring and helping our exhibitors make their way around the ring and get to their places. We appreciate them being here in Pennsylvania with us this weekend. Please put your hands together and welcome them here.
Yeah, no, Denny's as good a cow man as Pennsylvania's seen, and that's Riley's heifer's a high roller out of one of Denny's cows. It's a 2296 daughter. And if you look at the one Emily Schaefer is shown for her sons Collier and Braylon, that's a marksman out of, I believe, an Olson bred cow that comes from Tom Hawk and the Paulsons out in Indiana.
I think Riley is getting pulled in to win this class. Her grandpa would be very proud. I'm sad he's not here. I always enjoy my visits with Denny when we get to see him.
I will tell you, I haven't seen the next class in this division, but it'll take a pretty good one to knock that one out of the division.
All right,
champion.
now I'm not going to stand here and tell you that my two class winners, my 1 and 2, are anything alike. I mean, these heifers are really, really different, and I think they're both really, really good in their own right. The heifer that I used to win this class, I mean, I love that center body. I love the power, love the mass she's got, and yet she's really flexible when she gets out with it. Would I like to pull her chest in quite a bit? Absolutely. But for that extra chest that she's got, she's really actually pretty good up in through the top of her neck, and she'll come out high in her neck. I think this one, young lady, when she calves, you kick her out a bit and try to freshen her up. I really, really like the way this one's built. I just definitely would like to pull that chest in a bit and just clean her up a little bit there. This second place female, I mean, she's the one in spades as far as look. I love that neck in her. She's really, really awesome in through her chest. She's really long-sided. She's awesome at the ground. You know, she just doesn't have the mass and body that our class winner does, but she has some really, really unique pieces. Really flexible, awesome looking, great in their chest, and I think a real tool here. Get into our third, 3, 4, and 5 heifers. I think heifers that are all really good in their own right. They're easy doing. They're good sound type of females. They're just, you know, you'd clean them up a little bit in through her chest floor, in through the navel on this next heifer coming in. And then we get 2 heifers that are really nice as far as their type, and they're easy doing. You just clean them up a bit, give them a little more body mass, and let them handle themselves a little bit more fluid and flexible at the ground. But I mean, they're going to be good young, productive cows for these members.
Congratulations to Class 174 late summer yearling female exhibitors. First went to SCC 756 High Dala, exhibited by Riley Stockdale from Dayton, Pennsylvania. Second went to exhibitor 5567 Hawk KP Marilee, exhibited by Braylon and Collier Schaefer from Hagerstown, Indiana. Third went to TPMDS Vest Mighty Mouse, exhibited and owned by Rebecca Van Camp from Marion, New York. Fourth, exhibitor 2701, owned by Chloe Ann Patrick from Darlington, Maryland. And fifth, exhibitor 1742, owned by Grace Smith of Strasburg, Pennsylvania. Into the ring at this time, we have your early summer yearling females in Class 175. We have 4 entries. These heifers are ranging in age from May 1st to May 23rd, 2024.
we have a class of 4 here, Bill, and like you said, and I think from from our angle, it's hard to see sometimes. But another really nice set of heifers in this summer division. I see Piper Cease is back out here with a heifer. I do think that it's something kind of cool to be said for the Northeast. I know that although we did not exhibit anything at the Hereford Junior Nationals this summer, I was there just to kind of watch for a day. And Piper made the top 10 in her showmanship, and I think that's pretty cool. And earlier we were talking about Harrison Roberts, and he made the top 10 in the senior showmanship, which is an amazing feat for any kid to do.
And did Riley?
Riley did make the top 10. She did, yes. So we have 3 kids here today that all made the top 10. Riley and Harrison being in the senior, and Piper, I believe, is in the Pee-wee. Very young showman.
Does a heck of a job.
Yeah, she does.
She just won this particular class in the intermediate division. Again, really deep quality. Like the bottom end of these classes aren't throwaways. They're nice females. Nice females.
Got a really nice heifer that I can really gravitate to lead off this class. And I think where her advantage is when she comes to the top of this class, she's just so well built in through that heart girth, in through that shoulder, the way that neck comes out, and from her blade into her neck, in through her heart. She's really expansive in through her center body. She's really flexible at the move, good at the ground. And I think a female has got lots of bone, great in her hip. When she gets into production, I'd like to see that udder as it fills, level out a little bit. But I mean, one that from a design and build standpoint, really like this one a lot. Get into our second place female. Here's the real cow in the class. Love the body. I mean, she's massive and huge in through that rib shape. She's a female that gives you a nice look when she gets her head up and it comes out right. But you definitely like to tuck that chest floor in, and she just starts to push that chest out. And she's not quite as level and as strong and stout in through that hind leg as our class winner, but I think one that really follows her in type and kind, and love the cow power that's in this one. I think she's going to be a great female down the road. Then we get into a real long-sided female. I love the top. She's got lots of muscle shape to her. Really nice teat size in this female, which bodes up really well for when she gets into her production years. I just expand her and soften her up a little bit in through her center body to get a little bit higher today. But you love her lines, you love her look, and love her length. Then we get to the next female. She's real expansive up over the top. She's got a lot of spring of rib up in through there. She'll just get a little bit bold off the front end when she gets coming out at you on the move to get up a little bit higher today. But really a strong class of 4.
Congratulations to our exhibitors from Class 175 Early Summer Yearling Females. First was awarded to 5423 HAWKLD Maisie, owned by Piper Cease of Thermont, Maryland. Second to Rose Diana, exhibitor 5781, owned by Avery Rowlett of Waverly, Tennessee. Third, 2597, owned by McKaylee Forrest of Foster, Rhode Island, and fourth to 2125, owned by Landon Hall of Bolt, West Virginia. We are now going to select our champion and reserve champion intermediate yearling female. We're looking for our Class 174 winner, exhibitor 4877, SCC Haidala, a June 2nd, 2024 heifer. Followed in second will be exhibitor 5567. That heifer was born June 14th, 2024. From Class 175, your class winner was exhibited by 5423. That heifer was born May 1st, 2024, followed in second with 5781, Rose Diana, a May 2nd, 2024 heifer.
So So we're going to see what he does here in this nice summer division. And then we'll be moving into those spring females and getting to see some bred heifers. So that'll be really nice. I will say I don't envy the Hereford people. They had to fit these things this afternoon following the Scimitar show and the Angus show. The Angus show doesn't paint, but the Scimitars do. And boy, there's a lot of heifers out here with black on their heads. That's very frustrating, I know, for these folks, and I feel bad for them.
I don't know if you can see it on your computer monitor, but most of them are gray-faced instead of white-faced.
Yes. And from experience, I can tell you, it doesn't make for any of us to be very happy.
If anybody wants to ask, there's a good story about overspray getting on a Hereford heifer in Louisville. If you run into me in the bar tonight, I'll tell it to you, but it involved a pitchfork and a potential call to police.
And it was not us. Oh, my.
I don't know if Riley's grandpa is watching or not, but boy, he needs to know that Kurt and Riley got that thing looking real good today.
This is the first time I think I've seen him a little bit stumped for a minute or two.
I think a really, really interesting division here, and I think honestly on this placing, I think it's pretty tight, and you can really justify either direction that a person really wants to go. And I think we've got some really, really high quality individuals up here, and I think some really, really unique ones. And they're similar, but they're a little different as far as how they're built and what they're going to do. And as I said, I think you can go a few different directions here and really justify it and really, really like a couple of these or a bunch of these a lot. I'm going to go with the young lady that won the second class. Love the build and design of that heifer. When you get in through her chest and neck and just the way she's built in through her hip, really, really love that heifer. This is a really, really tight place. I'm going to go with this heifer up here that come out of the first class. That heifer just screams cow to me, and a really, really good cow. I mean, she's built well, great in her design, just pushing that chest floor out a little bit and some of her design to our division winner. But I think this is a really, really, really tight call on these two division winners. So congratulations to you two.
So I'm sure she's going to be interrupting me here pretty soon. He used Piper Cease's heifer to win that division. No?
Riley.
Oh, he used Riley?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got interrupted here briefly.
Your champion intermediate yearling female came from class 175 and was HAWKLD Macy, exhibited by Piper Cease of Thurmont, Maryland. Your reserve intermediate yearling female came from class 174 and was exhibited by Riley Stockdale, SCC Haidala. We're now ready for your spring yearling female division. We are looking for 5 entries with birth dates ranging between April 2nd and April 28th. Again, 5 Entries, April division.
So yeah, you have an April class here. We will have a class of marches coming up, big class of marches before we go into a division. We have a heifer that led the class in that came from KILE. Second heifer in the pen is Emily Troyer from Pikesville, Maryland. Young man that came in the ring third is Clayton Landis. Clayton's dad, Wendell, is at the university, well, at Penn State University. I'm not exactly sure what his title is. Bill might know better.
He's the boss man at Penn State.
At the barns there. That heifer came from Dina Jack Farms and New Enterprise, the Howe family. We have Rebecca Van Camp, and then Raleigh is back with another heifer that she raised. It's a Red River daughter out of a Stockdale bred heifer, an 88X heifer that has her prefix on it, not her grandpa's. So.
You know, Bobby, I do want to commend Judge Sherienko on using cattle that are athletic, that are flexible. I've seen them just continually, use the ones that have the most flex in their joints, the ones that hit the ground the softest, the ones that feel their track when we set them into motion. And he's finding those ones in these classes. And he's been fortunate enough to have cattle that are athletic and good looking with a lot of volume.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm
back to the statement we've said all day about how just what an incredibly impressive set of cattle from top to bottom a lot of these things are here today.
I'm not going to say which breed, but I watched a breed earlier in the day where the guy was forced to use cattle that maybe were a little uncomfortable on the move to win the whole show. And that's bothersome to a cowman.
Nope, I understand. So he's probably going to talk here momentarily, but it looks like this class too. So she's kind of been out of the Hereford breed a little bit here and hit and miss. So excited to see her back.
I think a powerful heifer to lead off this class, and you just love this female when you set her in motion. She's extremely flexible. Love that middle and volume that this female's got. Great in through her hip. Gives you a great look from her blade in through her heart girth. I mean, that neck and chest floor, she just really puts it all together and really balances up really well. Like that one a lot. I think in 2 and 3, you can make a bit of a judgment call here on both these heifers, and I think they're a little more interchangeable. I think, unfortunately, for the young man in third, he kind of lost a tight battle here. I think our second place female follows the most as far as type and kind to our class winner. I think she's really good looking. She's good in through her center body. I think she's just not quite as balances up and as put together as our top female, but I think she's a lot similar as far as type and kind. The stouter heifer is the one here in third. Love the top of this female. She's really wide based. She'll pop that tail head a touch when you set her in motion, not quite as soft in through the middle and center portion of her body, not quite as chiseled up in through that chest floor, but a female from a power and muscle standpoint and bone standpoint, she really does well there. Then we get into the next female, just not quite as nice in through that chest floor and as expansive in through her center body as the females above them, but a real powerful, flexible type of female that follows in here really logically. Then we get into a female, you love the top. I mean, this is a big, powerful, bold muscle type of a female, but with that little extra muscle, she'll get just a touch shot coarser in through her shoulder and in through that chest floor, but one that really gives you a lot as far as performance and length of body, and from that standpoint, I think really a strong class.
Results of Class 178 Spring Yearling Heifer Females is as follows. First, congratulations to 4878 SCCH 18 Rivy, owned by Riley Stockdale of Dayton, Pennsylvania. Second, KLL KLD Blush, Exhibitor 5161, owned by Terra Ruba Farms, Kemar, Maryland. Third, 2114 DFJ Miss J, owned by Clayton Landis of Furnace, Pennsylvania. Fourth, SRF, Delilah's Dazzling Diva, owned by Emily Troyer of Pilesville, Maryland. And fifth, Carter, Miss Elsie, 3825, owned by Reba Van Camp of Marion, New York. We are now ready for Class 179, Spring Yearling Females. It looks like we have 9 head in this class. Heifers range in age from March 2nd to March 31st. All heifers are March Division 2024. At the conclusion of this class, we will be selecting your champion and reserve champion spring yearling female.
So what do you think, Mrs. Dunn? What's he going to do here?
I don't know. But as we get into these bigger bred heifers, we do have a heifer midway through this class that young man Chase Harward is showing that he, at some point probably, I don't know if it was in their sale last fall or one of the a private treaty. I don't know the answer to that, but is showing from the Grimmel girls, and they also have a sale coming up. It is on SC, and it'll be shortly after the KILE here. I believe it's on October 9th. I had looked that up earlier.
So next week?
Yeah, so.
Next week you
I
can
know
get on SC and...
Yep. I know Jacob's back in the barn right now getting some, I know they have a cow-calf pair that they're going to be showing here in a little bit. But yeah, so you can visit with him.
And you know, I've never been a shameless self-promoter, but on October 15th, if you get on SC,
It is not posted yet, but
it's
it will
not
be.
posted yet, but
It will be
be
here in a few days.
The Dunn Hereford's result-driven sale that this year includes more than just Herefords. So there's some purebred semis, a couple percentages, obviously the Charlet thing, which we've really enjoyed the last couple years. There'll be some composites and a purebred and a Red Angus or two. So.
But there is 2 Herefords,
and
we're pretty proud of them.
Obviously,
They're pretty nice.
Obviously,
and,
2 Herefords. The best 2 from this year are in the sale. So
and both of them are sired by a bull that we partnered up with a few years ago from the Louder from the family, Lumberjack, and he's been tremendous for our program. So.
You want to talk about one that makes cows that have a little bit of look? It's Lumberjack. I'm really pleased with his offspring.
I do see, even though like those calf classes were so big, Bill, but as we get into these bigger heifers, we are slowing down a little bit.
We are. The decision making gets a little
tougher. So, and thank you for pronouncing Mr. Sharinko's name correctly.
Yeah.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
You know, I don't think they got in there, but one of the hottest bulls in the Charlet thing right now, he's involved with a bull called Mayfield, and I've actually seen some really nice Mayfield daughters, and our judge today is
involved in him. And actually, there's a gentleman, I believe, isn't there a gentleman down in the southwest part of the states involved in him?
You know, and I think Gary Danley
yes.
is a sponsor of this show today.
Yes.
And is raising some really nice Charlets, I believe.
Not the Hereford show in particular, but the
KILE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he raises some nice Charlets, I believe, in Washington County or maybe Greene County, but in the southwest corner of Pennsylvania. And I've never been to the place, but I've heard that the cattle are really, really nice.
It's exciting what's going on in the state. We were just actually visiting with Secretary Russell Redding this morning, and how the numbers here in the state continue to grow, even while we are unfortunately having some decline.
Nationally, the cow herd's declining. You know, we're at a 75-year low, but the state of Pennsylvania keeps plugging away. People don't think of us as a beef state, but we got some major processing facilities here in the state, and we've got a growing cow herd, and we've got some guys that are starting to keep those calves here and feed them, so they don't have to be trucked out west and then be put on on a truck and come, 800 or 900 miles back east to Souderton or Waulusing or even to Nicholas's plant. So it's a growing industry here in Pennsylvania, and this cattle showing is kind of a growing thing here in Pennsylvania too. The purebred thing, the show heifer thing, is really changing. Let's listen to Judge Sharanko.
I think an interesting class and a little more variation when we get into this class as far as type and kind. But I think we got a heifer that really comes to the top of the class that follows the type and kind I've been trying to use all day. I think she's really good in her makeup. I think she comes out of that heart girth in through that shoulder and up in through that neck and chest floor really well. She's expansive in through her center body. She's got some length to her. I think a female that's really, really stout. And she hits her tracks on the move. She's not quite as fluid, but she really hits her tracks and she's good at the ground. And I think a heifer that really gravitates to the top of this class, to me, pretty handily as far as the type and kind. Getting to the second place female, there's a lot of pieces that I really like about this heifer, and I think maturity and time is going to be her friend, and I think she's a heifer that gives you a great look. She's really nice in through that shoulder and that heart girth. She's great in her hip. She's flexible on the move, and I think with some time she'll just soften up just a touch, and this one could be really, really good as she matures. Then we get into third place female. I think she follows a little more as far as that moderation and type and easy doingness that we've been trying to use throughout the day. She just gets a little bit, coarser in through that chest floor, not quite as expansive or as wide base, but really nice teat size coming on this female, and I think she'll make a great cow. Then we get into two heifers with a lot of horsepower. I mean, from a performance standpoint and selling bulls in the Midwest, these kind of females can raise some big, high octane type of bulls and really sound and big boned and really growthy. For me, I just tone them down just a touch for me, as far as in their mature frame size and not quite as together and balanced up as some of the females above them. But from a performance and power and soundness standpoint, those two heifers do really, really well. Then we get into three females that they're really nice in their type and kind. They're really easy doing. They're soft made type of females. You just clean up their navels a little bit, and they've probably got a bit of a performance and size disadvantage to some of the other heifers that are in the class. But I mean, three really similar females as far as type and kind.
Results of Class 179 Spring Yearling Females is as follows. Congratulations to Exhibitor 4666 KCL Georgie, owned by Laurel Cornell of Berlin, Pennsylvania. Second, GGSC Claire, Exhibitor 3350 Chase Harwood of Forest Hill, Maryland. Third, 1753 LLH122 Ember, owned by Addison Heater, Clarksburg, Pennsylvania. Fourth, GSF Taylor Talila, owned by Lucy Flynn of Tawnytown, Maryland. Fifth went to 1762 KJTWJ Pebbles, owned by Emma Heater of Clarksburg, Pennsylvania. 6, Made You Look, owned by Mackenzie Hawkins of Jane Lou, West Virginia. 7th went to Pippa Jericho, owned by Christy Snyder of Claysburg, Pennsylvania. And 8th, CNP Christine, owned by Craig Stahowski of Newton, New Jersey. In the ring at this time, we are selecting our champion spring yearling female. From Class 178 is 4878. This heifer was born April 2nd, 2024. Standing second is Exhibitor 5161, an April 28th, 2024 heifer. And from Class 179 is entry 4666, with a birth date of 3/4/2024, followed by GGSC, Exhibitor 3350, with a birth date of March 19th, 2024.
Let's listen to the judge.
Really nice division here in this younger yearling division, and I think we got, all 4 females are really similar in type and kind, and I think we got the 2 class winners that are really, really similar as far as type and kind. I think this is a real, you can really judgment call and go either way on these 2. I think there's some slight differences with all their similarities. I think we got the little nicer hearted one in through that shoulder, up in through that neck that wins the first class. I think we got the one that's just a touch stouter that wins that second class. The flexibility on this heifer that come out of the first class is really second to none, and you really got to like that about them. And I think 2 heifers that are really, really similar in type and kind, a bit of a judgment call here. But we're going to go with the heifer that won the first class as our division winner, and the heifer in the second class as our reserve.
Okay, so Riley winning that division, and Laurel Cornell from Berlin, Pennsylvania was reserve. So that's going to take us into, shoot, Bill, where are we here? Those were Marches. We're going into the Februarys now.
Yeah, we're rolling right along. Rolling right along.
I do want to say she introduced the ring help earlier, and I have always said to Bill repetitively over the years, especially these past few, as we've gone to some different breed junior nationals with our kids as Reagan's wrapping up her junior career in the next year or so. I give the Hereford Association, the Junior Association, Eamon and Bailey, a lot of credit. These girls or guys that sit on this Hereford Junior board always do an amazing job, and I so appreciate that they come and they help with these shows. And
Your
these young ladies
champion
today are doing
spring
a nice
female
job.
came from class 178. Tag number 4876 is SCC Rivy, exhibited by Riley Stockdale from Dayton, Pennsylvania. Your reserve spring yearling female was exhibited from class 179, 4666, KCL Georgie, exhibited by Laurel Cornell of Berlin, Pennsylvania. Into the ring, we have class 182, junior yearling females. Looks like we have 7 entries in this class. All heifers in this class range in age from February 2nd to February 25th, 2024.
So we got some powerhouses out here, Bill. First in the ring is Suter Clark from Virginia.
Clark boys.
Clark boys. They have a buck heifer with us today. We have a New York heifer that was bred by McKenna Broughton. Excuse me. In that third slot coming into the ring, we have a heifer that Gianna Marino from up in New York is presenting that came from the Hoffman Ranch. I spoke earlier about the Grimmel Girl operation out in Maryland, and they're I guess it would be...
Ella is the next generation of Grimmel
She
girls.
is the next generation. And she's showing a heifer. And
we got a heifer from Pete Atkins out in South Dakota, shown by Monica Drabesco from here in Pennsylvania. Pete's past president of our association.
Yes, he is. We have a heifer back from KC Livestock that looks like it's owned by Olivia, I hope I pronounce her right.
Ullman?
Ullman. And rounding out the class is Julia Troyer. And she's from Maryland with a Showtime.
She bred the heifer, but it's Showtime genetics. So
yes.
Shout out to Jeff and Jill.
Yep.
The cooks.
I haven't seen them in a couple years here at the KILE. We miss seeing them, but usually always see some genetics from them somewhere.
And they're always highly competitive. So Jeff and Jill make a little bit of feed now too. So if you guys are in that area and need some show heifer feed or fear for your 4-H project,
and I think they have some dealerships now, kind of going all over the place.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And everyone I've talked to that used it actually speaks really highly of the consistency and the results they get. Looks like Judge Sharenko is going to use Gianna Marino with the Hoffman heifer. Powerful individual that young lady's leading, and Suter Clark's going to be second behind her with one that comes from Gerald Buck.
Yay for Gianna, Walker actually fit the heifer for her. He was helping her out today and helped her get that heifer ready.
So shout out to Gianna and her crew.
Gianna and her crew, yeah.
Shaking his head. He's going to roll Monica Trebesco with the Pete Atkins bred heifer into the next spot. And, man, that's a powerful individual. Going to be carrying a little bit of birth weight on paper, but certainly a big, broody type that I'd like to use to make herd bulls.
And he's talked about that, some of these heifers that have been maybe a little bit in the middle of the class, that they have that, but they're, again, certainly are going to be, very capable cows down the road. Have appreciated hearing his thoughts on a lot of the cattle today.
I think a deep class here when we got into this little older division in the yearlings, but I think a heifer that really rises to the top to me, I really gravitate to this one. I mean, the amount of bone and power she's got is really, really impressive. She's great in her hip. That tail head sets in beautifully. I think one that gives you a good look up front, and she's good in her chest floor. She's adequate in through her center body, and I think one that really just gravitates to the top of this class. Get into our second place female. I really like the design of this heifer. I like that she's a little more expansive in through her center body. I think she's a female that gets out and she's flexible on the move. She'll get a touch course in through the point of her chest floor, and she'll pop that chest out a bit, a little bit coarser in through the top of her neck, but from a body mass standpoint in through her design, she's good at the ground, she's flexible at the move, and I think one that really screams a lot of cow power. And then I think we get the real power heifer. Love the length of side, love the body in this female. I think just a real powerhouse and one that does a lot. I really like the teat size and placement on this female. She'll get just a touch deep chested, maybe not quite as true in through that hook to pin as a couple of the other heifers, but I think one that from a power and length of side standpoint, you just love this female. Getting to the next female, I love the front end and a lot of pieces to this heifer. The design of her, she's great in through that chest floor and up in through that neck. She's a wide-based female, big boned. I think a female that she'll tip that tail head and get a little soft in her loin when you set her in motion and on the stand. But a female with those other pieces of center body and front end, you really, really got to like that about her and gets her into that spot. Next female, love her in the heart girth. She's really, really sound. She'll just get a little bit, she'll round off in that hip and hawk in a touch on the rears. But I think one from a functionality standpoint, she really does some really nice things. Then we get into a real power heifer here in next, and you love the easy doingness, a fleshing ability in on her. She just a little bit, she gets a little coarser in through that chest floor, a little bit patchy over in through her pins to compete with a few heifers above her, but a real powerhouse. And then, young lady, you've got a really good heifer there. She's really long-sided. She's really feminine. She's given up just a bit of a scale to the other heifers above her, but she's going to be a great cow for you, and she'll give you a good look because she's good in her neck. She's good in her design, and I think she'll do really well for you. She's really long-sided.
Results of Class 182 Junior Yearling Females. First was awarded to 5083 HBL Carmel, owned by Gianna Marino of Clarence Center, New York. Second, BKCMCC Money Shot, owned by Suter Clark from Gretna, Virginia. Third, 5294 AH Lady Demand, owned by Drobezko Show Cattle from Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. Fourth, 4297 GGSC EED Mary Lily, owned by Ella DeFord of Jarrettsville, Maryland. Fifth, Herf Nation Polly, 5049, owned by Harley Ando, Houghton, New York. 6, KCL Amber, owned by Olivia Ullman, Prospery, Pennsylvania. And 7th, TR Honeys, Haiti B, owned by Julie Troyer, Pilesville, Maryland. Into the ring at this time, we have Class 183 Junior Yearling Females. Looks like we have 5 in this class with birth dates ranging from January 4th to January 31st. At the conclusion of this class, we will be selecting your champion and reserve champion junior yearling female.
Really a nice class here, and I think a heifer we used to win this class. I think we got 2 that are pretty similar in type and kind, but I feel we've used the biggest ended, boldest heifer to win this class. She's the most pulled apart in through her hip and in through her pins, but yet she's really flexible on the move. She's really adequate in her center body. She gives you a nice look, and I think one that just really screams cow power when you get through. But I think really, for me, she's flexible, and she's the most pulled apart one in the class. Then we get into the second place female. She's really nice in her design. She's great in through her hip. She'll give you a nice look. She'll just kind of tend to, she'll be a touch tighter in through her pins and in through that hip than what our class winner is. But a female that I think really logically falls into this hole. She's long-sided and gives you a great look. Then we get into a real functional female in third, really soft-sided, really flexible on the move, just not quite as stout up in through that hip or as much width the base as a couple of females above her. But I think one from a functional cow power type of standpoint, I think the one that really does it in spades. You know, she's not the fanciest heifer in the class, but she'll give you a nice look and really, really flexible and sound. Then we get into a real long-sided power type of a female, really big boned and powerful. The length of hip of this female is really, really impressive. She'll tend to just come apart a little bit on the move and open up in through that heart girth and pop that shoulder a touch, but one that's really flexible, really powerful, and really big boned. Then we get into another power heifer that really follows the last heifer. I mean, huge boned female. She'll just tend to drop that loin and pop that tail head when she gets on the move, and you'd soften up her center body a touch, but I mean, a really, really big bone, powerful one.
Results of Class 183 Junior Yearling Females. Exhibitor number 5779 was first with GSC Carlin, owned by Isabella Hewitt of Branchville, New Jersey. Second, 2594 Pepin McKaylee, owned by McKaylee Forrest of Foster, Rhode Island. Third, Beaufat Hill Saltine, owned by Harrison Roberts, Williamsburg, Massachusetts. And fourth, FBF Wise Kid, owned by Kennedy Lewis, Woodsboro, Maryland. Fifth, TK Reba Red, owned by Tucker Kresge, Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania. Into the ring at this time, we are going to select your champion junior and reserve champion junior yearling females. From class 182, we are looking for 5083. This heifer was born February 19th, 2024. Her second is 3223. This heifer is a February 25th, 2024. And from our last class, class 183, we have exhibitor 5779 exhibiting a heifer that is a January 7th, and second in that class is exhibitor 2594 with a January 11th female. At the conclusion of this class, we will move into our senior yearling female division.
Really an interesting division here, and I think as these heifers get a lot closer into production, we're really looking for those types of things as far as teat size and teat quality and placement, easy doing this, expansion through that center body, and those types of things these females get in. But we're also looking for soundness and look and quality and overall type that really comes in. And I think we got some females that really do that really, really well here. I think for me, I'm going to go with the heifer that won the second class. I just think that thing is just real cow power, gives a good look, love the center body, and I think she's a little bit more pulled apart when you get in behind her. That with the pin, with the hip, really, really like that about that female. Then we're going to go to the big bone, good looking one that come out of this first class. How that heifer ties in through that front end, her hip, that bone and type and structure, I think is really, really elite. So I think we got two females that are slightly different, but I think they're really, really elite in their own right. So congratulations to these exhibitors.
Results of your division drive for junior yearling females. Your champion was awarded to 5779. Grimmel Girls Show Cattle, Caroline. Isabella Hewitt was your exhibitor from Branchville, New Jersey. Your reserve was HBL Carmel, exhibited by Gianna Mariano, Clarence Center, New York. Into the ring at this time is your senior yearling female division. This will be a placing and the selection of your senior and reserve senior champion yearling female.
Yeah, we got the senior class of senior yearlings out here. And I will tell you some that are really, really fun to look at. Rhett Day's got a little heifer out here he's a classic. Um, she's a December, and I think she's pretty easy on the eyes. I like that heifer quite a little bit. Scoot on back through there. And we've got a heifer from Abby Smith that came from Grass Pond operation in New Jersey. We've got a heifer being shown by the Geyers here in Pennsylvania, New Enterprise area. There's a heifer from Hickey Land and Cattle Company in Illinois. It's a Hoemaker daughter. Another one from the Geyer family. And then I believe the heifer nursing the calf is a classic that comes from Lucy Flynn in Taneytown, Maryland.
Wait, I'll tell you what.
I think a really, really elite one to lead off this class, and it'll be our division winner. I mean, I really, really can latch onto this one a lot. I love the mass and power and body she's got. She's really pulled apart when you get in behind her. She's wide in her base, she's wide in her pin, but yet she's really, really sound and flexible on the move. She's really good at the ground, gives you a great look. I mean, she's not freaky in any way. She's just really, really good. I think one that really leads off this division really, really well. Then I think we follow in a female that I think is long-sided, you know, not quite as much body and as pulled apart as our class winner, but I think one that comes into here pretty well. I mean, she gets to pop in her tail head when she gets on the move, but I like that utter teat size and teat structure above her that's coming as she's setting in to get into production. She's long-sided and gives you a nice look. Then we get into the senior yearling that's calved out here, and you know, I'll be the first to admit I'd really like to shorten up her teat size, but you know, they're not too big around, but I would definitely shorten them up quite a bit. Where she gets into this third place hole is the cow's design. I love that front end on that cow. She's great in her hip. She's good in her center body. She's flexible. She's big boned. From a structure standpoint, I really, really like a lot about that cow. I just shortened up her teat size. Then we get into the next female. I think you really like her teat size and structure that's coming. She's a female that'll give you a nice look. She just not quite as much power and performance as mass and as much center body as what some of the other females that have come out of this class ahead of her. Then you get into a real long-sided female. She'll just pop that tail head on the move, and you'd really want to set that down in her quite a bit to get her up a little bit higher. Today, then we get into a real easy doing female that's springing a nice udder. She's good in her center body. She just gets pretty full in through that chest floor, and you'd pull her apart a little bit in through her pins to get her a touch higher today. But really an interesting class and a really, really elite class winner and division winner.
Results from Class 86 is as follows. Your champion senior female was Exhibitor 191, Day Honky Tonk Woman, exhibited by Rhett Day from Telford, Tennessee. Your reserve champion senior yearling female was 3628 HLC Rosetta, exhibited by Aaron Shriver of Grafton, West Virginia. Third, GSF Olivia Emerald, exhibited by Lucy Flynn of Tawnytown, Maryland. Fourth, 5356, owned by KILE Hausar of Everett, Pennsylvania. Fifth, 794, owned by Mason Geyer of New Enterprise, Pennsylvania. Sixth, 1737, owned by Abigail Smith of Strasburg, Pennsylvania. Into the ring at this time is Class 189, cow-calf pairs. We have 7 entries in this class. Cows in this class are ranging in age from September 2019 to April 2023. Again, cow-calf pairs, Class 189. The results of this class will determine our champion cow-calf and reserve champion cow-calf pairs.
So years before, they always showed the pairs at the beginning, and I'll be honest, Bill and I are sitting here visiting. We're not sure if they've made some rule changes. I know a lot of breeds allow the pairs to participate in the final drive, and that isn't something that previously happened, so we're going to see how that plays out. And Bill and I apologize for not knowing that.
But I think I've always thought that the pairs should show in the final drive. I think if the Herefords finally did that, welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah, that's great. I know we've talked through a lot of these today. We've talked through that the Grimmel girls, Jacob Wolfrio is going to be having a sale here shortly on the 9th, as I think what I said earlier.
October 9th for Grimmel girls.
We have Keith Allman. He had some earlier calves, and Keith does not have a sale, but he does participate in the Virginia Fall Bonanza that'll be coming up here shortly. And then in the spring, he always participates in the West Virginia as well as the Ohio Spring Beef Expos. And he, Keith, kind of like most of us, always have cattle for sale at home by private treaty. And he's got a nice cow-calf pair out here. I mean, I think overall, once again, Bill and I have repetitively, shared all day what a stout group of cattle these have been, and I don't think the pair deal is any different.
And Bobby, when you think about the value today of these cows compared to what it was even just 4 years ago, this is impressive to have this kind of quality. With these calves, the calves on these cows are impressive. I'm really impressed with this lineup, and to have 7 of them here, might have been nice to split them by age a little bit and get this thing narrowed down a little, because that's a lot of cattle out in the ring. It might make it a little easier for Judge Sharinko.
I think he can handle it.
But boy, nice cattle.
Yes, and as Walker will tell you, when he was a kid, we used to make him show a lot of pairs, and it's not an easy feat to bring a cow-calf pair to the show. So our hats off to these folks that put that effort in.
Looks like Judge Sharenko is going to pull Jacob Wolfrey from Gurma Girls Cattle Company. For those of you watching, the cow is a marksman out of the Coyote Dun cow, and if you've watched their program, they've sold a lot of really nice heifers out of that cow, and that right there is proof that they can go on to make nice cows. I do not know what the calf is by, or what the age of that calf is, but certainly a nice pair to start this thing off with. And then he's going to roll, looks like Keith Allman, into the reserve position. Keith's cow came from, looks like Dr. McDonald down in West Virginia. She's a Perfecto daughter. Harrison Roberts is going to sit into the third spot. And as I look through here to find Harrison,
I don't know if it's actually Harrison's. It might. Oh no, here he is. It's a Dominate daughter out of a Delhawk cow that it looks like Harrison got from Lindsay Pugh.
oh, nice. That cow, the Delhawk Claudia cow, actually won this show a few years ago for Lindsay. One raised by Tom Hawk. So the cow is a daughter of a former KILE champion. He's going to follow Harrison up with the Heater sisters. That individual, as I stroll through my thing, is I think the cow must have come from Mud Creek out in Indiana. And I apologize because I can't see the numbers from here.
Yeah, I think he's about ready to start talking. So.
I think a really nice class of cow calves when we get out here, and I think we start off with the pair to me that I really gravitate to. We've got a good looking cow. She's good uddered. She's wide based, has a really good heifer calf at side. I think a pair that really combines it up, balances it all up really well. Of course, the country I'm from, we show a lot of pairs, and really I gravitate to these good uddered ones with really good calves on them, and the cow's really built well. I think a really strong pair here. Then we get to our second place pair. Really a powerful bull calf in front of this cow, and I love the moderation and softness and easy doingness of this cow. If I want 150, 300 cows out in the range, I mean, this is probably the frame size and easy doingness and functionality that I'd be looking for. She's good uddered, she's soft made, easy doing, and I think a really good pair that I like a lot. Not just quite the scale and length and power that our top pair does, but a really functional pair that's really the right kind. Then we get into our third place pair. I think she follows our two a lot as far as type and kind. Not quite as soft in through her center body, not quite as easy doing as our second place pair, but really similar in type and kind. She's good uddered and has a good calf on her. She's built well. She's nice in through her neck and in through that heart girth. So I think she follows in here really well. Then we get into a real long-sided, powerful cow. She's got a good calf on her. She'll just pop that tail head up and get a little soft in her loin when you set her in motion and on the stand. And I think that puts her in where she is today. But as far as she's a long-sided, productive kind of a female with a very serviceable udder on her. Then with the next thing, what we get into in some of these pairs is, I tidy up some of the udder quality and teat size, but I mean, this next pair coming in, she's an older female and she's really easy doing and soft made, but I just tighten up some of the udders, level out their chest floor or udder floors in them to get up a little bit higher today, but a strong class of pairs when we went through right from one end to the other.
Congratulations, your champion cow-calf pair was 4279 GGSC Carter, owned by Grimmel Girl Show Cattle from Jarrettsville, Maryland, and Abby Hill from Richmond. In second place, and your reserve champion cow-calf pair is 1882 WP 84F Miss Linda, owned by Ralph Ullman and Son of Graysville, Ohio. Third is 2878 Miss Charlie, owned by Harrison Roberts of Williamsburg, Massachusetts. Fourth was H.H. Lacey, 1752, owned by Addison Heater from Clarksburg, Pennsylvania. Fifth is 2117 Sunridge Mix Victoria, bred and owned by Landon Hall from Bolt, West Virginia. Sixth is 3099, shown by Lily Barnett from Maryland. Seventh, SK Aftershock on Target, owned by Abigail Smith from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. And your eighth place cow-calf pair is 2648 OC FV Talk of the Town, owned by Abby Ann Patrick of Darlington, Maryland. We are now going to be selecting our Grand and Reserve Grand Champion female at this time. We're going to go ahead and start reading through our division winners. Entering the ring at this time, we have your lineup for your Grand Champion Hereford selection. Your champion spring heifer calf is from class 162 and is Chestnut 2269 Marbles. And that is owned by Nathan and Nicholas Bernatowitz from Tunnelton, West Virginia. Your champion junior heifer calf is from class 166 and is SSF Calcia from Piper Cease in Thurmont, Maryland. Your champion senior heifer calf is 1769 from class 60 Huffman Karma, exhibited by Collier Schaefer from Hagerstown, Indiana. Your champion intermediate yearling is 175, Hawk LD Macy, exhibited by Piper Cease from Thurmont, Maryland. Your champion spring yearling female is 178, SCC Rivy, exhibited by Riley Stockdale of Dayton, Pennsylvania. Your champion junior yearling female is Grimmel Girl Show Cattle Caroline, exhibited by Isabella Hewitt from New Jersey. Your champion senior yearling female is 191, Day Honky Tonk Woman, exhibited by Rhett Day from Telford, Tennessee. And your champion cow-calf pair is 4279 GGSC Carter, owned by Grimmel Girl Show Cattle and Abby Hill. As we make our way around, I will read off our reserves. Your reserve spring heifer calf is Chestnut Beverly from Class 160. Your reserve champion junior heifer is 165, exhibited by Winks Carly from Woodbine, Maryland. Your reserve senior heifer calf is 4586, exhibited by Hudson Fleener from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Your reserve intermediate yearling is exhibited by Riley Stockdale. Your reserve champion spring yearling female is 179, exhibited by Laurel Cornell from Berlin, PA. Clarence. Your reserve champion junior female is from class 182 and is exhibited by Gianna Mariano from Clarence Center, New York. From your reserve champion senior yearling was exhibited by Aaron Shriver from Grafton, West Virginia with HLC Rosetta. And your reserve champion cow-calf pair was exhibited by Ralph Ullman and Son from Graysville, Ohio with Miss Linda. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. This is your grand champion Hereford female drive.
Well, Bill, I'm excited to say that we were right in thinking, and I think he's going to talk, so we're not going to talk very long, but the cow-calf pair is out here.
Well, it's really been a pleasure doing this Hereford female show, and I think it's a real testament to all these breeders. I mean, they've been bringing out the kind I like all day. I mean, I think when we look from the front end of these calves through, I mean, they're females that give you a great look. They're really, really sound at the ground. They're really expansive in through their center rib. They're big and bold in through their hip, and they're stout, but they're really built the right way. They're good at the ground. They're flexible, and I think a real testament to all you Hereford breeders, and it's been a real honor and a pleasure to be asked to do this show, and it did not disappoint. I mean, these females have been really exceptional all through all the classes when we get in through this champion drive, and I apologize for taking a little bit longer on this champion drive. I think there's some really, really unique and elite individuals out here, and and I'm tasked to select the two that I gravitate to, but there is a lot of quality through this whole division, this whole class, and we get into this champion drive, and I'm going to go out and select a couple, like I said, that I gravitate to, but I mean, there is a lot of elite ones on both sides of this line from our division winners and our reserve division winners, so congratulations to all you Hereford exhibitors. Well done. This is a really, really great group.
congratulations to Piper Cease with their champion Hereford female. That one came out of the 4th division. And Rhett Day with his senior heifer champion will be reserve. So congratulations to these 2 young individuals. Yeah, and I think it's important that we recognize Rhett. That one's bred and owned by him.
Congratulations, your grand champion Hereford heifer was HAWKLD Maisie, exhibited by Piper Cease from Thurmont, Maryland. She was your champion intermediate yearling female. Your reserve grand champion Hereford female was 191 Day Honky Tonk Woman, exhibited, bred, and owned by Rhett Day of Telford, Tennessee. That does complete our female division. We are going to take some pictures. Congratulations to all our exhibitors. We will be ready to move into our bulls as soon as we are done getting some of our pictures taken at the backdrop. Again, we're going to take a quick break, take some backdrop pictures, and we will be back here with our bull division. We'd like to welcome you back here to the Hereford Show. We are kicking off our Hereford Bull Show with a single entry. This bull calf was born in June 16th, 2025.
Just a single entry, but a really good strong calf for just a June baby coming in through here, pretty sound, and I think he'll mature out really well. I think he's sound, well built, and a good individual for a June.
Results of Class 194 Spring Bull Calves first went to 2660 PMF AP Flynn, owned by Abby Ann Patrick of Darlington, Maryland. Pages are sticking together. Our next class is Class 196 Spring Bull Calves. We have 9 entries in this class. Bulls in this class range in age from March 1st, 25 to March 26, 25. Again, there should be 9 entries in this class.
really a strong class of bull calves here when we got into the second class bull calves, and I think a really, really tight placing, and I think these top 3 bull calves are all really, really exceptional. Started off the class with one that's really, really sound and fluid. Love the volume and capacity this bull calf's got. He's really free and easy. He's good in through his hip. He's got ample base width, good length of side, and I think a calf that just really, really balances up well. Get into our second place bull. I mean, I think this calf's got a degree shot more muscle in him. He's got a touch more lower quarter than our class winner. I love how big topped he is. He's good shaped scrotal at this age, not quite as wide based as our leading calf. When you get him on the move, you'd maybe give him just a shot more center body to our first calf, but I think this calf has a lot of future in him, and time's going to be on his side. I think a little stouter calf even than our class winner. Third place calf, same way. I love the muscle shape and top and hip and rib shape in this individual. He's just a touch looser sheath, not quite the length of side that our top 2 class winners have, but I think a real muscular, powerful kind of a calf that'll go on and be a real good herd sire. Our high octane calves, the one coming in 4th, really long-sided, big boned, lots of power. He's a real performance individual. He'll pop that tail head when he gets on the move, get a touch straighter off both ends in our top 2 bulls, and has a slight twist in that scrotal, but a calf that's really, really powerful in performance, and really like that about him. Then we get into a real soft, easy-doing, muscular kind of calf that's coming in next. He'll tend to get under himself a little bit when you set him in motion on his rears, and he'll drop them pins just a touch, but I really like the muscle shape and volume and power that this calf has. Get into the next calf, gives you a really, really good look. He's really great in his hip. He's strong topped. That calf will get just a notch nickel straighter off each ends, and the other ones, when you set him in motion, pop that tail head a bit, but I think a real long-sided individual. Then we get into a real chunk powerhouse kind of muscular type of calf, giving up a little bit of the size and performance and scale that our calves in front of him in the class have, but really a good stout individual. Then we get to the next 2 calves. They're good calves. They're really well built and they're sound. They're just giving up a little bit of that performance, and weight per day of age get up a little bit higher today.
Congratulations to our exhibitors in Class 196 Spring Bull Calves. First, GP Justified, bred by and owned by Grass Pond Farms. Second, 4882 SCC 211 Marky Mark, bred and owned by Riley Stockdale of Dayton, PA. Third, 2884 Beaufat Hill, bred and owned by Harrison Roberts of Williamsburg, Massachusetts. Fourth, 4487 GSF Taylor Turbo, bred and owned by Gemstone Farms in Tawnytown, Maryland. Fifth, 1754, bred and owned by Addison Heater. Sixth, 3861, bred and owned by Nathan and Nicholas Bernatowitz of Tunnelton, West Virginia. Seventh, 4191, owned by Cameron Roaming of Beaverton, PA. And eighth, 4177, owned by Durham Valley Farms, Regalville, PA. At this time, we're going to go ahead and select our division spring bull calves in the ring at this time. From Class 194, we have 2660. This bull was born June 16th, 2025. From our last class, we have 5783. This bull was born March 19th, 2025, and standing second is for 4882, a March 11th, 2025 bull.
Really a nice set when you get into the spring bull calf division, and I think we've got 3 really nice individuals out here. Of course, there's a big age disadvantage on the calf out of the first class, but I think 3 really high quality individuals. With that, we're going to go with the 2 bull calves out of the second class as our division winner and our reserve, and I think 2 really, really high quality individuals.
Congratulations to 5783 GP Justified, bred and owned by Grass Pond Farm, is your champion spring bull. Your reserve champion spring bull is 4882 SCC 211 Marky Mark, bred and owned by Riley Stockdale of Dayton, PA. Into the ring at this time, we have our junior bull calves, class 199. We are looking for 5 entries. Bulls in this class range in age from February 3rd to February 24th.
I think leading off this class, we've got a really, really outstanding individual. I mean, you got to love the muscle shape and power and mass of this individual. He's really good in through that heart girth, in through that shoulder. He's masculine, yet long enough necked. He's really good in the center body, great in the sheath. He's a calf that's really square at the ground, and I mean, you just got to love the power and mass and look and the build and design of this calf. I think a really, really good one. I think he comes top this class really, really handily. Then we get to the second place calf. I think he follows the most in type and kind. He's got a little some advantages as far as depth of body and softness to our third place calf. Little disadvantage in length of body. He's not quite as long-sided or as muscular as our front calf, but I think one that balances up. He's nice in his underline, and I think a calf that follows in really nicely. Third place calf, love the length of side in him. He's a really, really expressive calf up over his top. I'd like to just soften him up in his center body to get up a little bit higher today. Get to the next calf. I love the muscle shape and length and look that this calf gives you. He's just not quite as full and through that center body and mass. Then we round out with a calf that's really sound on the move. He's really functional. You just scale him up and just power him up a little bit to get a little bit higher today.
Results of Class 199 Junior Bull Calves is as follows. First was awarded to 2302 Herf Nation Elvis, owned and bred by McKenna Burton from Attica, New York. Second, TVF Lucifer 4019, owned by Adam and Sophia Taylor of Parkton, Maryland. Third, 1884 UHF Apache, bred and owned by Ralph E. Allman and Son, Graysville, Ohio. Fourth, 4G Cherokee 5357, bred and owned by KILE Hauser, Everett, PA. And fifth, to fullback 4604, bred and owned by Robert Church of Hoosick Falls, New York. In the ring at this time, we have 2 entries in our junior bull calf class. These bulls range in age from January 4th to January 11th, 2025. This class will be followed by your champion junior bull division.
Really, really powerful calf to start off this January calf class in our junior bull calves. I mean, he's a lot like that calf that just won the last class. You love the top and power in this calf, the muscle shape with the base, yet he's really long-sided, gives you a great look. He's good in his chest floor. I think just a long, powerful individual. Then we get into the second calf. He's really, really complete. I mean, he's not as powered up and as upscale as our class winner, but from a completeness and balance standpoint, he really, really does that well. He's really good in his center body. He's good hipped. He's really, really sound and functional when you get him on the move, and he's great in through that heart girth. Just not quite as powered up and as massive up as our class winner, but 2 really, really good calves.
Results of Class 200 is as follows. Congratulations to 1005 JHP 92D Sir Clinton, bred and owned by White Lawn Farms in Prospery, Pennsylvania. Second was awarded to SRF Trump, bred and owned by Emily Troyer in Pilesville, Maryland. Into the ring at this time, we are bringing Class 199, Exhibit 2302 first. This bull is born February 3rd, 2025. Standing second in that class was TVF Lucifer with a birth date of 2/12/2025. And from our last class, we have Exhibit 1005, Sir Clinton, with a birth date of 1/4/2025, and standing second in that class was 3607, with a birth date of November 11th, 2025. At the conclusion of this division, we will be moving into our senior bull calves division.
I think a nice division here when we get into these junior bull calves, and these calves got a little bit more age on them, and you can really start to see that maturity start to kick in, and I think we got some really big-ended performance individuals. I think with that, the calf that wins the first class, I mean, I really gravitate to him, and he's going to be our division winner. That power, mass, that great hind leg in him is really impressive. And I think the extra bonus for him, when you look at him numerically, he really does some neat things from a calving ease and low birth perspective, high milk. You know, when you can put that phenotype that he's got and that power and performance with the data, he's a really elite individual. For our reserve calf champion, we're going to go to the calf that won the second class. I think he follows the most in type and kind with that length and power and performance, so congratulations.
Your champion junior bull calf was 2302 Hereford Nation Elvis, bred and owned by McKenna Broughton from Attica, New York. Your reserve champion junior bull came out of class 200, exhibit 1005 Sir Clinton, bred and owned by White Lawn Farms in Prospery, Pennsylvania. We're now ready to start our senior bull calves division. Our first class is 204. We should have 2 entries in this class. Birth dates are ranging October 3rd to October 2nd, 7th, 2024.
Really a nice class of senior bull calves, and I think 2 really good high quality individuals. And the bull we're starting off with, I mean, he's got a ton of character to him. He's got the advantages as far as muscle shape and power and hip. He's really athletic on the move. I think a calf, you really like that look that he gives you. He's really good in through his chest floor. He's wide based, really good at the ground. Get into our second place individual, extremely long-sided. I mean, you've got to love the length that this bull's got. His angles are really good. He's got some advantages as far as scrotal size, and I think a bull that really does that well. Not quite the degree of muscle, not quite the degree of center body in him that our class winner does, but really a good long-sided performance individual.
Congratulations to our exhibitors in class 204. First went to 4013 GSF Taylor Toro, owned by Lucy Flynn and Gemstone Farm in Tawnytown, Maryland. Second, 1004 JHP 92D Creed, bred and owned by White Lawn Farms in Prospery, Pennsylvania. Into the ring at this time, we have Class 205 Senior Bull Calves. We have 2 entries in this class. Bulls in this class, birth dates range from August 6th to September 29th.
I think when we get into this next class of senior bulls, we've got a little bit of a give and take here. And I started off the class with the most muscular individual in the class. He's got the most performance, the most power. I mean, would I like to free him up a little bit on the movement and soften him up into center body? Absolutely. But I think he's got the most width, the base, the most power, the most muscle. And I think that puts him into that spot. Love the soundness and the softness of this bull in second place. I think he's obviously the most athletic individual in the class. You just like to power him up a little bit and give him an extra degree, a shot of muscle in through that lower quarter, up in through that hip to get a little bit higher today. But from a soundness perspective, this bull is really, really good.
Results of Class 205 Senior Bull Calves is as follows. 3832 was first with TP 2135 Professor Arlo, bred and owned by Thomas Patrick Smith, Seneca Falls, New York. Second, 2857 Beaufat Hill Night Vision, bred and owned by Harrison Roberts, Williamsburg, Massachusetts. We're now going to select your champion senior and reserve champion senior bull calf from classes 204 and 205. From class 204, we have exhibit 4013. This bull was born October 3rd, 2024. From class 205, exhibit 3832 is an August 6th, 2024 bull. Their seconds are as follows. 1004 from class 204 has a birth date of October 7th. And 2857, your second to class 205, has a birth date of September 29th, 2024. This is your senior bull calf division.
Really a nice division here, and there's lots of power and performance when we get into these senior bull calves, and I think there's one that really gravitates to the top for me when you start looking at soundness and power and muscle and look and great in his chest floor is this bull that won this first class. We're going to use him for our division champion. I think he really rises to the top of this division. Then we get into a bit of a judgment call. You know, we've got the more muscular calf that come out of that second division. We've got a real long-sided, soft sound calf that's in this was second in this first class, and I think we're going to go with this calf that won out of this first class. I like the soundness and softness that he comes through to the table. He'll be our reserve calf champion.
Results of your senior bull calf division is as follows. Your champion is GSF Taylor Toro, bred and owned by Gemstone Farms and Lucy Flynn in Tawnytown, Maryland. Your reserve is JHP 92D Creed, bred and owned by White Lawn Farms in Prosperity, Pennsylvania. In the ring at this time, we are bringing our early summer yearling bulls. This will be both a class and a division. Again, early summer yearling bulls, class of 2, with birth dates May 13th to May 31st, 2024, will be both your class and your intermediate yearling bull division.
This is a really good class when we got into these early summer yearling bulls, and we're going to leave them standing just like this in this class. This will be our class winner, which of course came into our divisions, and I think 2 really, really good bulls, and they're worthy of being a division champion and a reserve. Started off with this first yearling bull. I mean, I love the muscle shape, his hip design. He's real level in through that hip. He's big topped, great in through that flank, in through that heart girth. Really, really good herd bull headed and great in his chest, and a really good footed individual, and really like how he balances up. The power and performance bull is the bull that was reserve in our division, and big scrotal bull, love the length of side. He's got lots of shape to him. He'll just get a little bit, he'll push that chest out just a touch, and not quite as nice headed as our bull that leads off the class, but I mean, that is a power packed, long sided individual, and I think 2 really, really strong bulls in this division.
Your champion intermediate yearling bull is 5782 GP Journey, bred and owned by Grass Pond Farms in Grendel, New Jersey. Your reserve champion intermediate yearling bull is 509 LCC Spartacus, owned by Kennedy Lewis of Woodsboro, Maryland. In the ring at this time, we have class 214 spring yearling bulls. We have 3 entries in this class. Bulls are ranging in age from February 3rd to February 15th. This will be both a class and a division. We will be selecting your champion and reserve champion yearling bull from this class.
I think this is a really, really, really good stout class of yearling bulls. When you get into this, I mean, all three of these bulls are exceptional individuals. This bull that leads off this class, I think he just really, really balances it up. I mean, he's great in through that hip, great hind leg in him. He's good boned. He's really square at the ground. You set him in motion. He's really flexible, awesome in through that heart girth, gives you a great look in the neck and chest floor, and he's just a real herd bull. I mean, I think that is one really, really high quality individual, good in his scrotal. The bull that follows in second, I think he does so from a muscle standpoint. Love the muscle shape and power and mass that he's got down in through that lower quarter. He's really explosive and expressive up in through that top. Gives you a great look. I mean, that bull is really, really nice necked and herd bull headed, really long-sided, and when you get him parked there, I mean, that hip, that hook to pin down into that lower quarter, that bone he's got, and a beautiful angles to that hind leg is really, really impressive. Not quite as deep flanked as our bull that won the class, or as good in through the heart girth, but that is one bull that really has some really, really unique pieces and really good scrotal as well. Then we get into a real complete balance type of a bull. He's really deep-sided. He's flexible in the move. He's good-footed, just not quite the shot of muscle in through his hip and in through his lower quarter. He's not quite as explosive as the front two bulls above him, but a really, really balanced, complete, sound individual that's really good scrotaled as well. Three really, really high-quality yearling bulls, I feel.
Results of Class 214, and your champion yearling bull is Exhibit 796 JDC Blackjack, owned by Josh Duty, Rocky Ridge, Maryland, and Mason Geyer from New Enterprise, Pennsylvania. Your reserve champion yearling bull is TVF Musketeer, bred and owned by Adam Taylor and Sophia Taylor from Parkton, Maryland. Third in that class was 4663 KCL Curveball, bred by Carson Fahey and owned by KC Livestock in Albright, West Virginia. We have one bull class remaining, and that is your 2-year-old bulls in Class 219. This will also be the selection of your champion senior bull.
Only one 2-year-old bull, but I can tell you this dude would stand a lot of competition in this class. He's a really, really great. You got to love that bull in through his center body, awesome in through his heart girth, big square hipped, great in through his lower quarter, perfect leg angles, and you can really see when he's coming in. I mean, he really gets out and moves when you put him in motion. Great headed, good chested. I think a really elite 2-year-old bull that could have stood a lot more in this class. I think this will be a really interesting bull when we come back out into this champion drive. I think a really good one, just one, but a real good one.
Your champion senior bull is Exhibit 5425 MML Joe Havoc, owned by Piper Cease, Thurmont, Maryland, Todd Kim, Casey Herman of Lima, Ohio, Wilson Stock Farm of Kensington, Ohio, and Morgan Ann Love of Baltimore, Ohio. We are now going to select your champion and reserve grand champion, Hereford bull. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to select your Grand and Reserve Grand Hereford bull here at the Keystone International Livestock Show. Into the ring, we have your champion spring bull calf. This is GP Justified, born March 19th, 2025. Your champion junior bull calf is 2302 Hereford Nation Elvis of February 3rd, 2025. Your champion senior bull calf is 4013 GSF Taylor Toro, October 3rd, 2024. Your champion intermediate yearling bull is 5782 and is GP Journey, May 31st, 2024. Your champion yearling bull is JDC Blackjack, born February 3rd, 2024. And your 2-year-old bull, your champion senior bull, is 5425 MML Joe Havoc, born May 25th, 2023. Our reserves are headed into the ring at this time. Your reserve spring bull calf is 4882 Marky Mark. Your reserve junior bull is JHP Sir Clinton, born January 4th, 2025. Your reserve senior bull is JHP Creed 1004, born October 7th, 2024. Your intermediate champion bull is 509 LCC Spartacus, born May 13th. Your reserve yearling bull is TBF Musketeer, born February 9th, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our grand champion Hereford bull exhibitors.
I think it's a really, really impressive set of Hereford bull calves that are bulls that come out in this champion drive. And right from the bull calves, from our youngest ones through, I mean, they got muscle and power and body, and right through our other divisions into senior bull calves, into our yearling divisions, interior bull. And, you know, you could really see that theme of muscle and soundness and volume, and yet they got a look to them. They're good in their chest floor, they're good in their neck, they're got herd bull headed. And you know, we really expected the Hereford female show to be absolutely as outstanding as it was, and it really, truly was, and to be expected. And, you know, the bull show really followed suit. Not as big in numbers as the female show, but extremely high-quality individuals that rose to the top of them classes, and then we can bring back out for this champion drive. And I think, you know, there's a couple in my mind that I'm going to go and use, and I think there's a super elite bull that's out here, and I think just ties up so much when you start talking about functionality and breed character and breeding bulls and soundness and muscle and look and type. Really, really quite exciting for me, and it's truly been an honor to do the Hereford show here at the Keystone, and thankful to all the exhibitors for bringing out such a high quality set of Hereford cattle. And I think you in the stands and you exhibitors, I think you can be really, really proud to be Hereford breeders. When you see the quality that was through that female show that carried on through this bull show, give all yourselves a round of applause, because I mean, you can be proud to be a Hereford breeder today. This is outstanding.
Your grand champion bull is out of your senior bull division and is MML Joe Havoc, owned by Piper Cease, Thurmont, Maryland, Todd, Kim, and Casey Herman of Lima, Ohio, Wilson Stock Farm from Kingston, Ohio, Morgan Ann Love from Baltimore, Ohio. And your reserve bull came from your yearling division, JDC Blackjack, bred and owned by Josh Duty of Rocky Ridge, Maryland, and Mason Geyer of New Enterprise, Pennsylvania. I would like to congratulate all of our exhibitors here today in the Hereford Show. We are going to do one more class, and that is the best 6 head. We have a single entry from Harrison Roberts. At the conclusion of this class, we will move to pictures. If you're in the ring for pictures, if you can move to the side so we can get the best of 6 head entry judged, that would be appreciated. In the ring at this time, we have a single entry, best 6 head, exhibited by Harrison Roberts. Congratulations, your best 6 head was awarded to Harrison Roberts. Before Harrison leaves the ring, we would like to announce that your premier exhibitor is Harrison Roberts, so you all might want to go gather at the backdrop for a picture and get your banner. Congratulations to Harrison and his family on being named premier Hereford exhibitor here at the Keystone Show. We would also like to congratulate your premier breeder, Grimmel Girls Show Cattle. Again, congratulations to Grimmel Girls Show Cattle for being named your premier breeder in the Hereford division. We will be back here in the ring at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.